The scoreboard lies loudest after blowouts. Boston dropped 8 runs in the opener. The crowd cheered, the lines shifted, and the public, they followed. But what happened yesterday has nothing to do with what's about to happen now. Today's game begins in silence. Bryan Woo isn't perfect, but he doesn't need to be. He walks few, keeps barrels soft, limits panic. He pitches like a man trying to win 5 innings, not 9. And Crochet, he's not trying, he's deciding. His home era is under 1. Opponents hit 200 against him in Fenway. He doesn't need the crowd. He doesn't need the cushion. He needs the strike zone. And he owns it. What does that mean? It means the runs won't come early, no matter what the crowd expects. No matter what the odds makers advertise. This total, 8.5, it's not built on today. It's built on memory. Yesterday's runs, last week's power, but memory doesn't pitch. Numbers don't swing. Noise doesn't score. What does? Command. Tempo. First pitch strikes. Morning shadows. 2 arms that aren't rattled. And a fielding gap that won't matter until the 6th inning. Let them chase the over. Let them expect chaos. Let them pretend a baseball game starts with emotion. But we know better. We know how it begins. With stillness. With control. With 2 pitchers who don't care what Vegas wrote. And today's AI pick is first 5 innings, under 4.5 total runs. The smart play isn't loud. It doesn't beg for attention. It just wins the early war. And when the sun finally shifts and the bullpen doors creak open, we'll already be done.
Elvis, looks like we've got a pitching match here tonight. That's what they're calling it anyway. 2 names. 1 known, 1 guessed. One's got clean numbers from last year. The other's got a fielding unit behind him that could clean up a murder scene. And Vegas? They want fireworks. They're hoping people look at that last score, 11-3, and forget everything they've ever learned about line traps. That's the bait. Myers gets his first start. Clean slate. Nobody knows what he really is yet. Which makes him dangerous. But not in the way they think. He's not dangerous because he might get rocked. He's dangerous because he might not. And that uncertainty? That's how they bait the over. Roop? He's not flashy, not dominant. But the Giants win when he pitches. 3 out of 4 starts, they've walked away with it. You don't need dominance when your defense is made of stone, and your park swallows fly balls. So the books hang a 7.5 on it. Why? To make you guess. To make you see unknown pitching and hear opportunity. But we don't guess. We measure. Roop doesn't give up the long ball. Myers keeps traffic off the bases. The bats? They're decent, but not relentless. Both teams sit middle of the pack in production. And that big Brewers win? Already faded. That was adrenaline. This is order. Let them chase. Let them dream of crooked innings. But we'll take what's real. And today's AI pick is under 7.5 total runs. It's not about dominance. It's about control. And tonight, both arms bring enough of it to keep the chaos locked down. The crowd will shift by the 6th. Get quiet. Some will leave early. They came for bats. They'll get balance. And we'll already be on to the next one.
Clyde, serious question. Why in God's earth did we get married twice? One wedding wasn't enough disaster for you? Did you wake up one day and say, you know what this financial ruin needs? A sequel. Because let me tell you something, the Orioles and Nationals make more sense together than we do. They're both in 4th place, both trying to convince everyone they're on the rise, when all they do is swing and miss. And tonight, they're putting a 6.38 ERA on the mound for Baltimore. That's not a starter, that's a polite surrender.
You want to talk about bad decisions, Bonnie? Look at the line. Vegas hung 8.5 and barely moved it, even after Baltimore got 1 hit and Washington looked sharp. Why? Because the books already know what kind of game this is. Or's real. He leads the league in strikeouts. He's not getting shelled by this lineup, not today. And Pavich? He's bad, sure, but this Nationals offense doesn't press. They're not built to punish. They're built to linger.
So what? You're telling me this is going to be some quiet, disciplined baseball game between 2 teams that have ERA numbers straight out of a beer league? Clyde, the only thing quieter than this game will be our ride home if this under doesn't hit. And you didn't answer my question. Why'd we do it twice? You saw how the first one ended, and you still lined up for round 2 like it was a good pick.
Because sometimes you see the mess, and you move toward it, not away. And today's AI pick is under 8.5 total runs. Pavich can survive 5, Gore controls 7, and neither of these lineups has enough fire to blow the lid off this number. The chaos will simmer, not spark. This game won't explode. It'll unfold, slow, forgettable, like our second honeymoon.
Not all momentum is loud. Some of it moves like a tide beneath your feet. You don't see it until the sand shifts. And by then, you're already moving with it. Arizona is moving. 7 wins in their last 9. 5 of their last 6 at home. They aren't running hot, they're walking steady. They hit for power. They steal bases. They don't chase, they wait. And when the pitch comes, they punish it. Across the field, Tampa is sinking. 0 wins on the road. 4 shutouts in the last week. They aren't in a slump, they're in a spiral. Jonathan Aranda's bat was the one bright spot. But he's faded now, hitting under 0.17 in his last stretch. The rest of the lineup has followed. And even Drew Rasmussen, perfect on paper, only gives you 5. That's the ceiling. After that, Tampa turns to a bullpen that doesn't hold. Corbin Burnes hasn't looked elite this season. But he doesn't need to look elite tonight. He just needs to stay clean for 5 and let his offense handle the rest. And today's AI pick is Arizona Diamondbacks moneyline 135. Not because they're perfect. Not because they're hot. But because they're consistent, and consistency wins when chaos is sold as value. The Rays are trying to swing their way out of a rut. Arizona's already on the other side of it. Let the numbers sway them. Let the record confuse them. But we've seen this before. And we know what happens next. Island's coming.
The world will see the home run tally, the missing shortstop, the tight spread. They'll call it a coin flip. But it's not. DeGrom brings stillness, precision. Jin brings ground balls and a defense that drops more than it catches. One of these teams builds leads, the other builds excuses. And today's AI pick is Texas Rangers 1.5. It won't come in a burst. It'll arrive in pieces. An inning here, a crack there. And by the 9th, the gap will be wide enough to walk through. But this wasn't the only trap set today. Let's look back. Game 1, Mariners vs Red Sox. Pick first 5 innings under 4.5. Too many runs remembered. Not enough restraint forecasted. Game 2, Brewers vs Giants. Pick under 7.5. The public saw fireworks. We saw containment. Game 3, Orioles vs Nationals. Pick under 8.5. 2 bad teams. One quiet game. Noise never showed. Game 4, Rays vs Diamondbacks. Pick Diamondbacks moneyline. Arizona didn't rise. Tampa fell. Game 5, Rangers vs Athletics. Pick Rangers 1.5. Structure wins when chaos is sold as value. If you're still here, you're not here for picks. You're here because you heard something different. A voice without volume. A mission without motive. Like and subscribe if you walk with clarity. Ezreal speaks softly but never by accident.